Hey, classy crew over on Patreon. Welcome back to another Hey Jay Off. I honestly don't remember what I call this thing, but it's the ideal monthly video where I go over 3 things in my personal life, including games I stream or games I don't stream, my thoughts on them as I play them, personal updates on my projects such as my company, and then the third one is I like to talk about my health goals of becoming a buff hunter. So I'm thinking the first part of this will be available over on YouTube as a special, just for those who want to know what I'm doing in my gaming life off stream. I want to try it with the usual YouTube audience, so a YouTube audience that usually sees my nice edited videos and stuff. You're probably seeing this for the first time. Let me know if you want more of this. And as for the Patreon, if you want more of me and sharing and learning more about what I'm doing with my business in the video game industry or what I'm doing with my health goals, you can get all of that over on my Patreon for $1 a month. That price is going to be fixed for as long as I can see. It's not something I want to raise. It's just a place where I can make a little extra. It's basically having a coffee chat together once a month. So, the last time I did this was April, and I apologize, I didn't get a May video out. We are now in June. I've just finished a crazy circuit on my business side where I pretty much deliver 5 major business events for the video game industry in a year. I've now finished 3 of them, and I'm going to share more about what's coming up next and how those went, but that's why I've been absent. That's why I haven't been streaming as much, because I've been traveling for those events and just been really busy with all of that. But let's talk about the games I've been playing off stream. And what I love now is I figured out I can do the basically filtering since the last time I recorded this over on Steam, and I have a list. I've been playing quite a few things because I've been searching for the next itch, and I haven't quite found, I played Expedition 33, which I won't get far into here because I've been recording journals for those, so you can find my full thoughts on Expedition 33 over on my YouTube, and that was an amazing, fantastic gaming experience. So to go from that to what is next is a challenge to find something that satisfies the same way. At the time of this recording, I have finished the story of Expedition 33. I have not posted my thoughts on YouTube yet about that. I want to take on a lot of the side content and side bosses before I do that final journal over on YouTube. I just haven't felt motivated to go back to Expedition 33. I don't know. There's games that, like, when I finish the story, I lose my motivation to go and tackle the endgame content. The same thing happened with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, where I pushed through, finished the story, shared my thoughts on the last video that I recorded briefly, and I just haven't had the willpower to go back. I think Expedition 33 derailed me. I went back to Final Fantasy VII OG, which that was fun until it wasn't. I finally left Midgar in that game. And now I need to buy my first chocobo, and I need like 10,000 or 20,000 gil, which I don't have. So I have to go out into the world to do random encounters and farm gil. I'm like, oh, this is old JRPG mechanics, which I do not miss. So I knew that playing old FF7 would have those quirks. I'm also disappointed to learn that the Steam version of FF7 doesn't have all the quality of improvements that they added to this the Switch version. I think the Switch version lets you fast forward the game and do things like that, and I think it has save states. That's not in the Steam version, so I'm like, oh man, this is worse. It's actually like playing it back in 1997 or whenever it came out. So all that to say, I'm in a bit of a lost place in my gaming life. Even on my stream content, I just finished my GU pledge, which journal needs to come out for that. And I'm now like cleaning up pledges. So I got to play some DMC. I got to play some Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak on stream. I got to play some Dragon's Dogma. Those are pretty much the 3 games that are still left to play. DMC is multiple games. It's DMC 4, 5, and whatever else I got to do in there. Sunbreak, I just got to do the quest, and then Dragon's Dogma, I gotta beat the DLC and replay the game or something. But let's get into the actual other games. Other games I've dabbled in. So I picked up House Flipper 2. Going on a big simulator tangent. I really like to relax with games that let me clean things. I want to say it's weird, but I don't think it's that weird because there's clearly a genre for this, and everyone I spoke to, they're like, me too. And this is usually more like older people. So I think there's some dopamine to be had about a sense of accomplishment in cleaning things. It started off with Power Wash Simulator, which is a great hit. I'm sure most of you have already played it. And if you have not, I highly recommend it. Even my son, who is 16, loves these types of games. There's something very therapeutic about them. And so I'm still dabbling in that, but you can only power wash things so many times. So I picked up House Flipper 2, which finally came on sale. It was a game I've been eyeing for a while. And what you do in that game is you're like a handyman that comes back to your hometown and decide that you want to like make a little bit of money. So you start fixing up homes. There's good things about this game where you're cleaning up all this trash that's left everywhere. You're washing the walls, you're vacuuming the carpets, you're fixing things if I remember correctly. And then you gotta like take away the ugly furniture so that you can actually sell this house. Those elements are fun. What I don't like about that game is the level of customization that they let you do on the items you add back. Like, let's say you want to put a chair into the house. You have to first pick the design of chair, and then you have to pick what material you want your chair. Is it going to be made of wood? Is it going to be made of steel? Then what are you going to paint it? What's the color? Is there a cushion on the chair? Is there a fabric? It's decision overload, and that's where like my life is full of decision. I'm the owner and founder of a company that is very intensive in how many decisions I have to do in a day. And so I like it when my games don't make me want to do decisions. And so that's where that game loses me. Where I go into a house, clean, love it. Where they're like, okay, now furnish it and design it how you want. I'm like, let's just put the most basic things to get the check mark and let's move on. So that's House Flipper 2. If you do like those games, I mean, it's a very rich, has a lot of features, so it's a pretty good game. Another one in that genre that I've been dabbling in for the past year is Train Station Renovation, which is also a similar concept where it's a very niche, very specific. You basically go into rundown train stations and got to fix them up. You got to fix whatever you like. If the rail line is rusty, you got to take the rust off the rails. You got to pick up the trash. You gotta take out the spider webs. Anything that's run down, you got to destroy and repair. And what I like about this one is that it does everything House Flipper 2 does, but when you got to refurnish the building, it's the choices are very limited. And so I got to put 6 benches here. I got the choice of 5 benches, and I'm just going to drop the most common bench so I get my check mark. So that's why I like that one more. There's less levels, I think, than House Flipper 2. So it's a lot more basic of a game. I think there's maybe a dozen levels or so, but highly recommend. Each level takes about an hour to complete, which is usually I do 1 level per game session, which is the right for me. I tried getting back into Stardew Valley. That was I've just been trying to find cozy games to rest in. Again, Stardew Valley, I can't I can never get past spring. I make it to the edge of summer in that game, and then I'm I'm bored, and I just kind of lose. I get distracted with something else. So I got to get back to Stardew Valley. And then another one that's similar that I always try to dabble back into to relax with is Disney Dreamlight Valley, which is like Animal Crossing, but with Disney characters. And that one too is hit or miss on what I want to do. Sometimes there's some narrative elements that I'm okay, let's finish, let's help Simba with his quest and build this thing. And then sometimes it gets too grindy and I'm I'm bored. Let's go on to something else. Going back into games though with a little bit more meat that I can actually share more insights. This one completely was not on my radar, but I picked up this little indie game called Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery EP. And the reason I picked this up is because it was recommended as a game that made the name for a game studio here in Toronto. I was okay, I gotta see what this is about. And this came out over 10 years ago. It's a really strange game to explain. It's been very well received, and I think this was at the height of the indie renaissance in gaming. This was just before the market got flooded with really top quality indie games. It's indie in its DNA and everything. Even when you look at the graphics, you're oh, this is very indie. It's back when indie meant a very bite-sized slice of game and very retro basic graphics. It's an experience, I'll just say that. I didn't know what to expect of the game. I did not expect what it offered, which is almost like a point and click adventure with very strange, I won't even say there's combat mechanics. Like there's a part where you do have to raise your shield, raise your sword. It's a game that I would recommend trying, but it's not a game I can recommend buying. So I picked it up on sale. I think it was 90% off. If you can get it for a few bucks and you want to have an indie experience, whatever that means, try it. But I cannot recommend it of like go out of your way and play it. Another one I've been eyeing for a while is Shovel Knight Dig. This one is much more known as an indie. It's more of the newer indies, and it's the first 16-bit Shovel Knight game, but it's a roguelike. So there's 4 or 5 worlds, and you're basically digging your way down and pretty much collecting power-ups, fighting some bosses at the end of each, and you're basically trying to get to the bottom in the best time. It's a roguelike, right? So you're getting a bit of story. It's not as good as Hades. Like, I mean, Hades, I think, is the best roguelike I've ever played. Can I say that? Yeah, I think Hades is the best one I've ever played. And Shovel Knight falls short of that. Shovel Knight Dig. It's okay. It's an okay game. It's fun. It has Shovel Knight mechanics. So if you really enjoyed Shovel Knight, the 2D platformer, you will like how the game controls here. But if you don't like roguelikes, you won't like it. So it's a weird niche of like, if you like retro platformer combat, but you like roguelikes and you wanted those two genres together, then this is for you. It's a game I will either like want to play it or just really not care about it. I really have to be in a very specific mindset for roguelikes. What I'm not enjoying about this one is I feel it doesn't. So a good roguelike to me is a game that makes you go, one more run. Let's try one more run. And Hades does that. Like you're like, I'll just play one, and then you're like, let's try something else, because it pulls you along, right? It gives you a reason to want to go back and do another run. Shovel Knight Dig is missing that for me, where I don't feel motivated to go and do another run. Like I'm either not getting enough story threads, I'm not getting enough collectibles, I'm not getting enough sense of progress to go, let's just do one more. Whereas a game like Hades, you're getting lore, you're getting your weapons upgraded, you're getting like collectibles that makes you feel progress in the game. And those elements are a lot weaker for sure in Shovel Knight Dig. So again, I've been looking for that game to get me addicted and hooked, and I have not found it yet. Another one that is wild is I finally thought I would try the Atelier series. And this is a series I've always kind of watched out of the corner of my eye. And I know Gaijin Hunter is going through like the whole franchise right now. So I see him talking about it over on my Twitter. And there was a Toei Tecmo sale, so a lot of them were on sale. I'm like, all right, let's pick the cheapest one, which happened to be Atelier, Ryza, Ever Darkness, and The Secret Hideout. And I think the Atelier series is always in trilogies. And from what I understand, Atelier Ryza is the first of the last trilogy. And now they're in the process, like they're in the new trilogy. That's what's happening. There's a new one coming out in September, I think. And Gaijin did say that this was a slow burn game. And I've made it 40 minutes into it so far. And like the world, the colors, the vibe is what I've been craving right now. Like I've really been craving kind of a, like almost Dragon Quest X, I think it is. Like I'm really craving like a colorful JRPG world, and Atelier Ryza was kind of offering that, but the tone is really, it's off from what I want. Like it's very, I don't want to say cutesy, but like, you know, it kind of leans into like friendship is everything kind of vibe, and I'm just not on that level right now. Admittedly, I didn't get very far into the game. I don't even know anything about alchemy. I know alchemy is a big part of the game, and actually that's the part I was mostly interested in, and I haven't unlocked that feature yet. So far, I've pretty much just run around the world a little bit. I've experienced the combat, which it's okay. The story hasn't pulled me in yet. Like a merchant has arrived in town, and it's kind of a big deal, and there's a bully, and like that's about it. So I'm not criticizing the game because I haven't played enough of it to properly judge it. It just has not hooked itself into me yet. And knowing it's a slow burn game, I probably have to give it a couple more hours before I share a verdict on it. And then finally, the other game I want to talk about, as you can see, I've been dabbling in a lot of games the last few months trying to find the thing. Tales of Kenzera Zao. This is a Metroidvania that's been on my wish list for a while. Again, picked it up because it was on sale. It looks beautiful. It plays very smoothly, almost like an Ori game. In fact, it reminds me a lot of Ori. And it's about the story of a boy, a young shaman, who loses his father at the start of the, like, that's what the whole premise of the story is. He lost his father to sickness, and he basically is trying to recover his soul from the, I think he's trying to bring back his soul from the undead world back to the living. And so you're exploring this world, getting power-ups, progressing. On paper, it sounds great, but and it's very well reviewed, so I was expecting it to be really good. It plays very smoothly, but I couldn't help feel that it's missing something. And let me see how much time I put into this. I think I put in, okay, so I put in an hour and a half of the game, and I've just been on autopilot. Like, there's no real challenge in the game. There are challenge segments, which, you know, those make me perk up a little bit, but the world feels big and empty. Like, you're spending a lot of time running and jumping around, not in any particularly satisfying way. It's just you're moving through the map, you're getting your power up, you're continuing to go. The story, while presented very well, isn't that interesting to me. And I just met a new character, which is super annoying. The second character you meet in the game, or third, the little girl basically I find her very annoying. And the combat is very repetitive. So I'm 90 minutes into the game. I would say I'm maybe in the third zone of the world, and I've only encountered, I think, 3 or 4 enemies. So, and they all have a significant amount of HP, where it's not like bam, boom, they're dead and you move on. Like, you actually have to like hit them 6-7 times, which feels like just a few times too much. And it's not exciting. Like, I'm thinking of a Metroidvania that focuses on combat, like Guacamelee. And that one has a lot of diversity in its... I feel that Zao tries to copy a lot of the old Metroidvanias that were very successful, like Guacamelee. Because even the enemies, the variety of enemies you get is they start getting shields, and you have to hit them with different mechanics. And in Guacamelee, it feels satisfying, and in Zao, it doesn't. And I can't tell you exactly why that is. I can only tell you as a player, that's what I feel. The running mechanic is good. Sometimes my character like glitches and gets stuck a little bit, which, you know, that's always unpleasant. It just feels like there's one little layer of polish missing from the game. But the art style is beautiful, the sound design's great. It's just, yeah, that combat could have been refined, and the travel satisfaction, like as you're exploring the world, I feel there should be more aha moments where as a player, you feel like you overcame something of your own. Like, you saw something, you explored it, and you were rewarded. There are a few things off the beaten path, but it's really not off the beaten path. It's like, instead of going left, you go right, and it's right there. And then you get like a reward. And even the reward, it's like lore bits, which give you skill points. And ultimately, you know, if you can get it for cheap, I do recommend Zao if you're a Metroidvania fan. But otherwise, if your backlog's big and you're not actively looking to add more to your pile, this is a game I think that you can pass. I'm going to go back to it and probably progress more. I'm hoping it's not too long of a game so that I can actually finish it. But yeah, I don't think this is going to leave an impression on me like Ori, where I felt emotional, or Hollow Knight, which I also felt emotional and I felt satisfaction playing that. What's another strong... Guacamelee, I've already mentioned. Axiom Verge. Like, these are Metroidvanias which left an impression on me. Yoku's Island Express, that's another really charming, beautiful, fun game, which is also a Metroidvania. The Shantae series are all really fun, great elements. And I would even say Shantae, even though it's as popular of an IP, like, the Metroidvania aspect of that game is very... not autopilot, not light, but like, it's not the hardest or craziest Metroidvania. It's a simplistic Metroidvania compared to, say, Hollow Knight or Guacamelee or whatever else I named, Ori. So, but it's still fun and it's still charming. It still makes you smile in some of the character interactions. I just didn't feel that with Zao. And then finally, the games that I am streaming, Devil May Cry 4, I'm trying to get through that. So I was about 5 hours in, I'm progressing. I finally finished the first chapter with Nero, and I'm now playing as Dante, basically running the game backwards. And then I gotta finish that, and then I gotta play it with two or three other characters before I finish DMC4. And then I can finally play DMC5, which is the whole reason I made the pledge to play the whole DMC franchise. I wanted to understand the franchise before I got into DMC5. And that's what it is. So DMC5 has been the longest promise of a game I wanted to play for myself that I've been waiting on, because I started my DMC pledge, I think 3-4 years ago, and here we are, and I still haven't even touched DMC5. It's just been rotting in my library. And that's the updates of my life when it comes to gaming. So if you want the rest of this video, be sure to head over to Patreon, and I will share more details on what I've been doing with my life in my business and on my health journey. Do 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 do. Subscribe.